In this video, we're going to start talking about measures of location. And the most common measure of location that we're going to see are called quartiles. Quartiles take a quantitative set of data and divide that data set into 4 equal count chunks. Remember that prefix quart means 4, so quartiles means 4 equal chunks, and we should have approximately the same number of data points in each of those 4 sections. In order to take a data set and divide it into 4 pieces, I need to make 3 divisions. Cut it in half, and then cut each half in half again. And you'll notice that's 3 dividers on that line. So I need 3 quartiles to divide my data into 4 chunks. I have a first quartile, Q1, a second quartile, Q2, and a third quartile, Q3. For the first quartile, we're looking for the median of the lower half of the data, excluding the actual median itself. 25% of the data should be less than or equal to Q1. A quarter of the data should be less than or equal to that first quartile. It separates the lower 25 from the upper 75. Our second quartile is equal to the median of the entire data set. Our second quartile, if I look at that line where I cut it into 4 equal chunks, my second quartile is right in the middle. It's the halfway point, and that's exactly what our median is. What that means is that 50% of my data should be less than or equal to quartile 2, or my median. The last divider, quartile 3, is the median of the upper half of the data, excluding the actual median. 75% of our data should be less than or equal to the third quartile. This separates the lower 75 from the upper 25. We can find it manually by finding the second quartile first, cutting our list in half, and then by finding the median of the lower half and upper half. More commonly, we're going to use our TI-84, and we're going to find it exactly how we found the mean, the median, and our standard deviation and variance. So you'll notice we have 2 data sets here. So we're going to go ahead, put those in our calculator, and do that calculation over again. So pull it this way. To enter data, we're going to go stat enter. And I have a sneaking suspicion that data might be wrong. So let's scroll down the list. So 3, 9, 1, 10, 2, 9, 10, 5, 5, 10, 10, 5, 7, 1, 3, 4, 10, 4, 4, 9. Okay, so last row is out of order, but it's all there. And I can see that it's in L3, so when I go stat, 1var stat, I want to make sure that I'm entering L3 instead of L1. So second 3, enter. And you'll notice that those quartiles are right at the bottom of the output. They're part of the very last few values we get. So for this data, my first quartile is at 3.5. My second quartile, or my median, is at 5. And my third quartile is at 9.5. So 5 is right smack in the middle. A quarter of my data is less than or equal to 3.5. 75% of my data is less than or equal to 9.5. which means a quarter of my data is greater than 9.5. A quarter of my data is sitting at 10. All right, we're going to do the exact same thing for our frequency table. If I go back to my stat edit menu, I can see that that frequency table is already in list 1 and list 2. So we're going to go stat, calc, 1var stats. My list is L1, my frequencies are L2. And here I can see that my first quartile is 1. My second quartile, or my median, is at 2. And my third quartile is at 2. I have so many data values in this region, particularly at 2, that both my second quartile and my third are both at 2. And that's okay. Sometimes that will happen when you have lots of repeated values in a data set. All right, we're going to go ahead and use these quartiles to calculate some other quantities about a data set and make some graphs. If you have any questions about what the quartiles are or how we find them, feel free to send me an email or drop by office hours. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next video.